Duduk tanya boleh start
Okay, alright.
Alright, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera saya ucapkan kepada para peserta. Terima kasih diucapkan kerana sudi menyertai webinar Keep Going 2021 pada hari ini. Walaupun mungkin ada antara kita yang sibuk menanda paper tapi masih sudi meluangkan masa mendengar. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. Webinar pada hari ini adalah dibawakan oleh Kesatuan Kaki Tangan Akademik Mitasa UiTM Kampus Pasir Gudang. Okay. Objektif utama webinar pada hari ini adalah berkenaan tips dan amalan terbaik dalam memenuhi kriteria 4 quadrants yang telah ditetapkan untuk pensyarah, iaitu dari aspek pengajaran, penyelidikan dan penerbitan, inovasi dan hubungan industri dan komuniti. Okay, di mana walaupun kita dalam era pandemik COVID-19, kita masih kena lengkapkan keempat-empat aspek ini. Okay. Bagi memberkati program kita pada petang ini, dijemput Ustaz Rizam untuk membacakan doa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami yang maha pemurah lagi maha penyayang. Kami sekalian hamba-Mu yang hadir di webinar Keep Going 2021, anjuran Kesatuan Kaki Tangan Akademik UiTM Mitasa. Kami mohon rahmat dan hidayah-Mu. Semoga diberikan cahaya petunjuk kepada hati kami. Engkau berkatilah usaha kami dalam mempelajari tips dan amalan terbaik dalam pengajaran dan pembelajaran, pengurusan diri, kreativiti dan inovasi pendidikan dalam era COVID-19 ini. Allahumma aslih lana dinal ladzi huwa asmatu amrina, waslih lana dinal lati fiha ma'ashuna, waslih lana akhiratan lati fiha ma'aduna, waj'al hayata ziyaratan lana fi kulli khair, waj'al mawata rahatan lana min kulli syarr. Ya Allah, perbaikilah urusan agama kami yang menjadi pegangan bagi setiap urusan kami. Perbaikilah dunia kami yang disitulah urusan kehidupan kami. Perbaikilah akhirat kami yang akan kesanalah kami kembali. Dan jadikanlah hidup kami ini sebagai tambahan dan kesempatan untuk memperbanyakkan amal kebajikan. Dan jadikanlah kematian kami sebagai tempat istirahatan dari setiap kejahatan. Allahumma ya zal jalali wal ikram. Lindungilah kami, keluarga kami, anak-anak kami, jiran tetangga kami, dan negara kami, dan seluruh dunia daripada wabak COVID-19 yang sedang melanda ini. Ya Allah, sembuhkanlah mereka yang telah dijangkiti, sembuhkanlah mereka yang sedang dalam rawatan, dan berikanlah kekuatan kesabaran kepada barisan hadapan kami yang sedang bertungkus lumus berjuang merawat pesakit-pesakit dan memerangi wabak ini, ya Allah. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma, wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma, wa la taj'alillahuma fina wa la ma'ana, wa la mayatba'una syakiya wa la matruda wa la mahruma. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Taqabbalallahu minkum.
Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Sebelum kita memulakan sesi perkongsian ilmu, izinkan saya berkongsi sedikit maklumat berkenaan penceramah jemputan kita pada hari ini. Beliau merupakan seorang pensyarah yang berkhidmat di Fakulti Akademi Pengajian Bahasa UiTM Shah Alam, mempunyai pengalaman mengajar hampir 37 tahun serta mempunyai pengetahuan luas berkenaan psikologi dalam pengajaran dan pembelajaran. Beliau juga seorang yang sangat aktif dalam penerbitan, penyelidikan dan inovasi pendidikan. Bagi pensyarah yang telah berkhidmat bersama sejak dari awal penubuhan UiTM Lakin dan Pasir Gudang, beliau adalah seorang yang tidak asing lagi bagi kita kerana beliau pernah berkhidmat selama beberapa tahun di sini. Seorang yang saya kenali sebagai cukup ramah, suka membantu dan sangat rajin. Oleh itu, dengan berbesar hati, kami menjemput Profesor Madya Dr. Nur Hanim Rahmat untuk berkongsi pengalaman dan pengetahuan beliau dalam topik webinar kita pada hari ini yang bertajuk Keep Going 2021. Dipersilakan.
Assalamualaikum to all. Alright, saya akan buat my talk will be both in English and in Malay. Alright, okay. It's a bit weird. Saya membayangkan kalau saya beri talk di Pasir Gudang, I always get excited finding a reason to go back to Pasir Gudang. So now, still far away, still from my place in Setia Alam. All right, okay. I have no idea how many people are listening to this talk. All right, if there are people who actually know me from, if you recognize my face, hi to you. All right, okay. So this is going to be slightly more than 2 hours. All right, okay, let me share the slides for a while. Is the slide visible? Nampak ke, Nazra?
About to, kejap. Belum lagi. Tapi, okay, yes, we can see it now.
Okay, takes time. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's begin. Right. When Puan Norbaiti and like lecturers from UITM Pasir Gudang called me up and asked me to give a talk on motivation, I didn't know what to talk about actually. All right. Then after that, I realized that this pandemic has made it even tougher for us lecturers. All right, we have to carry so many, if I can count, we have 4 burdens on our shoulders. All right, I call it the 4 quadrants. All right, so throughout this session, all right, what do you get from my session? All right, you learn about what the 4 quadrants are for the lecturers. All right, many of us are very familiar with just one. All right, and that is actually teaching. All right, okay. But maybe we are aware of it. Maybe we are aware of it, but we ignore it. Maybe we are not aware of it. We have 4 quadrants to fill up as a lecturer. I'm sure it's not only as a lecturer in UITM. I'm sure it's a lecturer in all the universities, everywhere. All right. Okay. What are these 4 quadrants? All right. And I will also be sharing with you how to fill up the quadrants, or rather how I go my own way, how I fill up the 4 quadrants myself. All right. Okay. Okay, lockdown. I think even I didn't imagine that it's going to be this long. I remember starting the was it 18th of March last year that we started our PKP. All right, and then all of us had this shock. I for one I had to learn how to do the Google Meet lah, Google Classroom lah, and then Zoom. Okay, first we did the Zoom, and then we did the Google Meet, and then we did the Google Classroom at the same time. And then after that, I ran back to my Padlet. And then after that, there's this WebEx that we can use. So all the classes are going online. And for the classes that I teach, all right, I for my writing at postgraduate level, I've always been comfortable teaching writing class hands-on. I call it hands-on. I mean, there's no equipment that we use for language, but I teach language skills, and I teach analysis of research like SPSS, simple as SPSS. Also, I've been using on I've been teaching in the computer lab. All right, and then I've been very confidently going from one of the students' desktop to another, walking around the whole class, walk around here, help this one student, walk here, help this one student, walk here, help that one student, and I suddenly realized that PKP no more hands-on. All right, then I was wondering whether I could actually manage to do no hands-on on the computer lab. In the computer lab, I cannot do hands-on the computer with my students. How will I manage? Strangely enough, as old as I am, and many of us think that we cannot learn any new things anymore. But I realized that we managed to. No more, I can't go to students' individual PC to check on their work. All right, and the worst thing of all, The craziest thing of all, I think, is to work from many angles. Many of you can identify with me. All right. You get work coming from your email. You get work coming from your WhatsApp. You get work coming from your phone calls. And WhatsApp, you get work coming from different groups. All right. Individual group chats coming out, and people are getting less patient on group chat. They ask you a question, and you don't answer within 1 second, they'll call you. All right. So you get, I think it's even more stressful, right? So, okay, working at home, many of us, I've become very comfortable working at home. Okay, but what does it mean to many of us? It means combining the housework and taking care of our children, if your children are still small, all at one place. All right, family members assume that your presence as non-working time. Your children doesn't see you around all the time. All right, mama not working. All right, and your bosses, your workmates assume that you are. Yeah, the strangest thing is that people at home think you're not working. People at work think you're at home, and therefore you are free to do anything ASAP. All right. So your workmate assume that you're at home, so you can work anywhere. And somehow or other, I think when people assume working anywhere, I don't know where the equation is. All right, that people assume that working anywhere means working anytime. I cannot give an explanation for that, nor do I want to define that. All right, but I think working anywhere means working anytime, right? Okay, what have we learned from this? All right, I like, I'm sure all of us have this word ringing in our ear, kita jaga kita. We are our own heroes, right? And I realized that, I always ask when I was preparing this PowerPoint slide, I ask myself, what did I learn from this online teaching? What did I learn from working from home? What did I learn from COVID-19? All right. Then after that, okay, I did some reading up, and then I tried to samakan situasi orang yang kena COVID-19 dengan situasi kita bekerja dari rumah. All right. You see, this disease, COVID-19, they attack our immune system. All right. But the saddest thing is that kita tak ada ubat lagi. We don't have medication. All right. Therefore, orang yang survive are really tough people. And I would assume that sebenarnya dia tough, dia bukan hanya physically, tapi I think it's mentally also. All right. And I read about this disease attacking so many parts of our body. Sama juga kalau kita bekerja. What did I learn from all this? All right. Working from home is just like, all the work coming to us, dia macam COVID, dia macam the penyakit attacking us, right? We have this personal, we have health issues, and then we have work-related problem, we have demanding superiors, demanding workmates, all right? Then we have friends that are overworked, all right? All these are actually attacking your strength, all right? And your motivation to be at your best. All right, you realize that, I'm sure many of us realize that COVID-19, working from home, sebenarnya dia lebih penat daripada bekerja macam biasa. It's very tiring. For some of us, maybe you can agree with me, it's tiring physically, but I think it's the mental penat. But it's actually your mental kepenatan mental ni that affects your physical punya energy. It does. By the end of the day, by the time you clock out, you realize that some of you may realize that tak ada energy dah for anything. All right, that's when we learn to order many things online. Okay, so with everything around us, and then we only have one reason. Okay, we want to make it. I'm sure all of us say we want to make it. Attend kursus untuk improve teaching yang inilah, yang ada kena paksa attend, yang ada tak paksa pun dia nak attend, dia nak become better at teaching. We want to become better at what we are doing. All right, if you focus. And for some of us, okay, the reason why I want to talk about this 4 quadrant, some of us will keep on saying that we are very busy, we don't have enough time. Right, but if you keep on saying that kita sibuk, that we end up only fulfilling satu quadrant saja. Alright, kita mengajar saja. Then we'll just say that we can only teach. That's all that we do. We can only teach, and that takes up a lot of time. Marking, no. Preparing what to teach, teaching, preparing the assessment, marking, mark. It does take a lot of time. But whether you like it or not, itu cuma satu kuadran saja. Tugas kita sebagai pencara baru 1/4 saja, tak lengkap lagi. So if you keep on saying that you don't have enough time, then you will never have enough time. All right. So stop giving attention to your problems. If you can't deal with it, leave it alone or deal with it. All right. Stop talking about not having enough time, because I think many of us need more time. Sometimes I feel we need more than 24 hours in a day. We need more than 24 hours in a day. And then we need more than I always feel that I wish there is a day after Sunday before Monday. There is a day after Friday before Saturday, because I think the amount of work that we have memang tak cukup jam, tak cukup hari dalam seminggu. Alright, so start our road to success. How did you live 2020? Maybe some of you are smiling. Maybe some of you suddenly frown when I ask you this question. Ponder for a while. How did you live 2020? Were you happy? Did you feel that you have achieved enough? All right. If you felt that you have achieved enough, was that only in the form of teaching? All right. So you felt that you have had enough. All right. How did you leave it? Or did you leave feeling that you wish you had more time? You wish December 2020 was a little bit longer so you can prepare more time for January 2021. All right. So many of you have a different answer. If I can see your faces right now, I can see many different faces. Some of you mungkin senyum bila nampak how did you live 2020. Some of you muka frowning bila nampak perkataan how did you live 2020. All right, now 2021 is coming whether we like it or not. And yes, COVID-19 is still here to stay. Some people say it will stay longer. All right, okay, then what? We have to teach. We have to carry out our research. We have to publish. We have to engage with the industry and community. Why can't we just teach? Right? Or maybe we just teach and only supervise lah. All right, final year project. Why can't we just do these two things? Because yes, these two things does take up a lot of our time. Memang very tiring dah. Teaching itself is very tiring. Why can't we just do these two things? Right. I have to admit when the team from UiTM Pasir Gudang asked me to give a talk, and then the Education 5.0 pops out somewhere in the original poster, I froze. Okay. And I was thinking, yeah, we are all afraid of new things, all right? Okay. Then I Google and then I look at one very prominent aspect of Education 5.0. And what is that? All right. Katanya Education 5.0 ni kita kena didik, kita kena educate, kita kena ajar pelajar untuk jadi progressive thinkers. Dia boleh fikir jauh ke hadapan. Alright, they are very progressive in their thinking. Alright, okay. So, alamak, salah spelling. Alright, so the thing is that, do we have time? We didn't have time to learn new things. So, ask ourselves as teachers, as lecturers, are we teaching all things in our old way? Remember last time some of my friends would say it's all up here. Semua ada kat dalam brain. Tak apa. Nanti tak payah nak buat points lah. Semua ada kat dalam ni. Are we teaching all things in our old way and getting very comfortable with it? Are we teaching all things in a new way, which is not too bad? All right. Are we teaching new things in the old way? All right. We feel that tak ada face to face, tak boleh lah, nak kena tengok muka juga. Alright, kita nak kena panggil orang, kita tengok muka, kita nak pergi ke tempat pelajar juga. Are we teaching new things in a new way? That would be the best. Alright. there's the same problem, all right? We are having the same problem. We have heavy teaching load. So are we ready to be progressive teacher? The thing is that education 5.0, we want kita disuruh didik pelajar yang progressive thinkers. Are we teachers ourselves? Are we teachers? Adakah kita progressive thinkers ourselves? That's one question that we should think of. Okay, kita mesti ada more than just the skill to be a basic, to just do one quadrant. All right, again, I took this from the internet, Education 5.0. Saja je saya keluarkan triangle ni. Alright, okay, kita sebagai pensyarah, kita harus mendidik pelajar yang ada 4 ini. Alright, creative and analytical balance. Alright, kita kasih students kita problem solving skills, problem solving case study. So yes, we hope that by giving problem solving activities, students akan ada creative and analytical balance. Yeah, however tak kepada cakap pasal creative and analytical, yeah, sometimes I feel that is being when we critique people all the time, are we actually doing analytical thinking? So we want our students to be creative and they have analytical balance. Students kita galakkan masuk innovative competition lah, kita ajar students untuk go beyond the classroom. Alright, okay, the next one, kita nak didik, kita disuruh didik untuk pelajar yang mindful and responsive. Alright, that means they care about what their results will do to others around them, and they are responsive to changes. You see, I like this quote that says the only thing that doesn't change is change itself. All right, because yeah, that doesn't change, it changes. Everything changes, takes place all the time. So we want to train our students to be able to respond to changes very quickly. All right, again, and then the third one, continuous learning. Kita galakkan pelajar kita untuk sentiasa nak belajar. Alright, I kind of miss the face-to-face classroom kan. Bila kita tanya pelajar kan, kelas dah nak habis kan, kita tanya pelajar, class, any more questions? Semua diam. Right? Maybe some of you have had that experience before kan. Semua diam. Tapi the moment you step out of the classroom, students will go after you. Dia kejar sebab dia malu nak tanya depan kawan dia. Which is good. It's continuous learning. We encourage students to want to learn all the time. Maybe we encourage them to not only expect to learn from us, because there are many places they can learn, they can learn from. Okay. And I think the most important thing, the very most important thing is agentic. All right. Okay. What is it? All right, I had to look at the meaning of agentic. What's that? It's the individual's power to control his or her actions and destiny. All right, sometimes we try something in the class, it doesn't work. Nak masa online learning, alamat tak menjadi. Kita dah plan bagaimana nak gila benda tu tak jadi. But if we are agentic, we are agile, kita boleh berubah. All right, we can quickly change the goal. All right, okay. Sometimes the destiny doesn't change, but cara kita, the goal, the plan, the strategy needs to change. All right, okay. So the problem is now kita nak didik pelajar yang ada 4 ni. Creative, mindful, continuous learning and agentic. Tapi adakah kita sebagai cikgu, sebagai pensyarah, kita ada tak ciri-ciri yang 4 ni? All right, kita kena train all these 4. But do we have all this? All right. Are we progressive teachers or lecturers? All right. For some of you who know me very well, I get very passionate. My dean calls me aggressive. He said I'm aggressive about pushing people to publish. All right. It's not because I don't have anything else to do that I publish. It's not because I love to write, but I do love to write. All right. But I hold to the definition of scholars. Kita pensyarah universiti, kita adalah scholars. I'm trying to find the Malay word for scholars. Never mind. We are all scholars. Okay? All right. Are we scholars? You ask yourself, are you a scholar? All right. What is the definition of a scholar? Jom kita define scholar jap. A scholar, let's look at whether you have at least all the three definitions of a scholar. A scholar is a person who pursues academic and intellectual activities. Boleh kita mengajar? Probably those that develop expertise in an area of study. All right, you are good in the classroom, you're good in online teaching, but do you have an expert? Are you expert in anything? Are you an expert in that area? All right. How can I stop? Okay, many of us claim that we are an expert in our area. That's why we teach. All right. How can I stop looking or behaving less intellectual? What is being less a scholar? What is being less intellectual? All right. Our time, at least during our teaching time, all right, when students remember us, do we remember us as just the content that we teach? Do we remember us because of the expertise that we portray? Do the students remember us because of our teaching style? Do the students remember us because of the way we speak? Yeah, people remember me because of my loud voice, all right? So do we want to be more than that, all right? Number two, a definition. So are you number one? And are you also number two? A learned or erudite, showing great knowledge or learning person. Do you show that? Do you show that you have great knowledge? All right. Especially one who has profound knowledge in a particular subject. Yes, you claim that you're good at teaching, but are you expert in what you are doing? How do you define the expert in your area? Do you know what there is to know in your area? All right. Do you know of the latest research in your area? Have you been following up? Have you been following up the latest discovery in the area that you teach? Have you looked at what are the latest research that people have done with regards to what you are doing? All right. How can I continue to be an expert in my area? Therefore, you cannot continue to be an expert in your area if you change the notes that you have, if you read the notes that you have, if you improvise the notes that you have, sahaja. But you don't add on to anything new, and you don't share to your students anything new. New does not mean that you found some content knowledge in your area. New should also mean that you have tried something new. You have tried something new, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't work. All right. How can I continue to be an expert? Many of you know the answer, how to continue to be an expert. All right. How can I share my knowledge with the industry? All right. There's this definition that I attended at one of the workshops in UITM Shah Alam. There's this term that says 2021 will be one lecturer, one industry. Satu pensyarah, satu industri. Alright, what does it mean? Kita kena pergi keluar kerja kat industri ke? Alright, one lecturer, one community. Kita kena pergi keluar kerja kat community ke? Alamak, dah nak kena mengajar, nak pergi keluar kat industri. What does it mean? Alright, how can I share my knowledge? Alright, can we all? Alright, with the definition of these two just now, expertise, sharing your knowledge, that you know what the latest information about your knowledge. Can you now call yourself a scholar? All right. Some of you terangguk-angguk, some of you senyum. Senyum tu tak tahu. Senyum tu mungkin dia cakap mungkin saya bukan scholar lagi kot. Some of you senyum mungkin dia cakap getting there. All right. Can we call ourselves scholar? Do you call yourself a scholar? Are we all doing 1/4 of what we're supposed to do as an educator in the university? Just 1/4. Apa tu 1/4? Right. These are the 4 quadrants. All right. Okay. Dia kena come together. All right. The circle, it doesn't end. It goes round and round and round. All right. Okay. Number 1 is teaching. Kalau you have been a good teacher, you've been teaching well, you've improved your teaching, online teaching you hebat, meningkat, you know of new ways, you're very good with online teaching. But bear in mind, you only completed one quadrant as a lecturer. 1/4 saja. All right. What's the second quadrant? Research and publication. All right. Have you been doing research? Are you too busy doing the first quadrant that you allow yourself? Are you busy doing that one quarter of the quadrant, and then you allow yourself to use the excuse that I don't have time to publish? All right. In innovation, all right. All these years of us going, some of us are new at teaching, many of us are the veteran at teaching. Have you tried anything new in your teaching, and you share it? All right. Take part in competition. All right. And finally, industry and community engagement. All right, that's not enough. You must share your knowledge dengan orang kat luar sana. All right, kita tak perlu bekerja kat luar. You need to share what you have. All right, your expertise dengan industry, dengan community kat luar sana. Right? Okay, 4 quadrants. Let's look at each and every one of the quadrants. Teaching. All right. So orang kalau nampak teaching, they either smile now or they say, okay, kacang ah teaching. We have been doing that. I mean, we are lecturers. We lecture. We are all teachers, and we are good teachers. So we teach. All right. I copy and pasted this in one of my talks, in one of my keynotes about innovation in education. All right. Which one is your age? All right, I am a baby boomer. I think many of you are millennials code. Pensyara mungkin ada generation Z code. I'm not sure. All right. So the silent generation. All right. Which one are you? The silent generation, dia lahir antara 1928 to 1945. No, that would be my parents. All right. Baby boomers, I'm a baby boomer. Lahir from 1946 to 1964. I'm a baby boomer, okay? Generation X, lahir from 1965 to 1980. We have many lecturers here. Millennials, dia lahir daripada 1981 to 1995. We also have a number here. Generation Z, or they are called the Zoomers, as compared to the Boomers. 1996 to 2021, that's it, alright? Yang ini belum lahir lagi, but I look in the internet, dia dah bersedia dah. Tahun ni diorang dipanggil Alpha. Later 2025, after I've retired, dia akan dipanggil Generation Beta. So I think after Alpha, Beta, Charlie kot. Alright, so so which one are you? Alright. Now, let's look at how these different categories, different groups of generation learn. All right, maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't, okay? All right, traditionalists, all right. I think, yeah, I am a little bit of a traditionalist and baby boomer. All right, informal learning, all right, command and control, dulu. All right, okay. Baby boomers pula transformational learning. Zaman saya belajar dulu, banyak in-class participation, cikgu tanya soalan, kita tunduk, buat-buat tak nampak cikgu, lepas tu cikgu panggil nama kita. Alright, okay, in-class participation, we don't know the answer. No, we know the answer, but we no eye contact. We don't want, we don't want to participate in class. So that will be the baby boomers. Then we have the Generation X, self-directed learning. Masa tu kita started having e-learning lah. Masa tu online learning was not very rampant yet. Tapi kita ada a lot of e-learning. Kita ada distance learning, alright? The students are able to learn at their own schedule, alright? So now our students sekarang yang ada dengan kita ni, kebanyakan adalah millennials, alright? Dan millennials adalah more for informal learning, alright? One good thing about COVID-19 is that selama ni kita selalu cakap online learning, learning, and okay, I'm going to learn how to teach online learning. Nanti akan belajar lah, kita belajar. Or some people say I'm too old. I used to say I'm too old to teach online learning. But COVID-19 has forced all of us, whether we are ready or not, whether we like it or not, we have to go online. We have to go online. So we are forced to teach. We are forced to teach the way we always tell ourselves, kejap lagi lah bila free nanti kita nak belajar. But now we have no way, but we have to do it online. Because why? Our students ni, the unique sikit. Dia ada dia punya gadgets, alright? They can have access to information anywhere, game information, alright? And they expect to learn anywhere and wherever they are, whenever they are. I remember when last semester when we started this online learning and capaian internet yang tak bagus sangat, we've got students yang actually pergi kat tempat, there's this one student actually pergi kat park. Dia pergi kat park, kat taman tu sebab dia cakap internet kat situ clearer. So anywhere, dia actually bawa laptop dia, bawa handphone. Dia bawa handphone dan dia attend online class from the taman tu. Sebab taman permainan tu, I think it's just a park, okay? He actually attended the class from there. So we are getting more of this now. The internet access, the way we learn, the way our gadgets are, all right, how busy we are actually learning that, you know, we can access information and therefore we can learn anywhere, all right? But about the anytime, I'm not too sure. Right, so therefore, lama ni untuk sampai ke objective. Objective is to fill up all the other quadrants. I am not going to share with you much about how to fill up the quadrant of the teaching because many of you are trying very hard and many of you have succeeded. I think some of your students are giving good comments in your online teaching. So I think many of us tak ada masalah dengan online teaching. All right, okay. Teaching mixed generation. Yes, I'm facing that. Maybe some of you are facing it. We've got students attending postgraduate studies. We've got students they go online learning. Okay, we have classes. They are part-time classes. All right, with different kind of generation or people who actually decide to work first and then they want to enter the classes late. So these people come in not with zero knowledge, but they come with experience. So we are teaching mixed generation now. More memang a whole spectrum of generations now. All right, we will try as much to learn new ways of teaching to accommodate the new and the latest way of teaching our content. All right, and we are proud. We pride ourselves for teaching and producing progressive learners. And one question again: are we a progressive education? My greatest worry is the other three quadrants. Okay? The pandemic has accelerated the need for online learning. We all did it. We did a good job online teaching. It has pushed us to go beyond our capabilities. Saya pun dah pandai tekan tu, tekan ni. I am able to teach my research methodology online. I'm able to do hands-on online. I never knew I could do that. All right? We have gone way beyond our capabilities. All right? We are able to cater for students who can learn anywhere and anytime. We're good at that. Okay, we want progressive students. Are we progressive? Takkanlah masih nak gunakan alasan I cannot carry out research sebab teaching load banyak sangat. We have to stop it. All right, we have to stop using that excuse because although the reasons are real, although the reasons are genuine, although it's true you don't have enough time to publish, it's true you don't have time to do research, but it's part of the quadrant as a lecturer. It's there to stay. Okay, quadrant dia 4, dia tak akan jadi 3. Alright. Okay. So maybe, okay, if you haven't started yet, maybe let's start small. All right, let's look at the second quadrant. Innovation, all right? You know, when I was preparing for this slide, I was doing all these 4 quadrants. Actually, these 4 quadrants, they didn't come from me, all right? One of the messages I don't know whether any of you remembered, I think our VC mentioned that pensyarah kena ada keempat-empat ni. So when I took down the notes and then I realized that empat, so I made it into a quadrant. So these 4 points in the quadrant were not my own points, all right? Okay, innovation. All right, okay, let's talk about innovation. Some of you are smiling because dah biasa dah masuk IDEX. All right, okay. All right, maybe some of you are new. Macam mana nak kaitkan research dalam classroom, sekarang dalam classroom, dalam online classroom, nak kaitkan research dengan publication, dengan innovation. Saya jadikan benda ni cycle. That, alright? I actually presented this in 2019. Alright, okay, number 1. Cuba kita berhenti seketika and think for a while. Think for a little while. I am sure no matter how many years of teaching experience that you have, walaupun kita dengan kawan kita ajar konten yang sama, tapi we realize that cara kita ajar mungkin lain sikit daripada kawan kita kat sebelah. So kita ada cara lain, kita ada cara baru. So that cara lain tu is actually a classroom idea. It need not be a new kursus, it need not be a new code. Okay, content dia mungkin sama, tapi sebab kita passionate, we are passionate about what we do, the way we teach definitely akan lain dengan kawan kita yang mungkin ajar benda yang sama. So kita dapat idea there. Okay, alright. For example, when I teach writing, many of you who know me know that I like to teach writing. I love to teach writing, and I love to write about how to teach writing. So I have my own fun way of teaching writing. So saya masih ikut syllabus. Saya masih ikut konten yang sama, tetapi idea saya berlainan. Therefore, itu adalah classroom idea saya, and that will be the stage number 1. So you should start thinking, apa benda lain yang you pernah buat dalam classroom you, yang mungkin walaupun konten dia sama dengan orang lain kat sebelah yang mengajar benda yang sama, tapi cara you lain. Dan cara yang lain itulah that makes a unique you. Alright, you should have. Alright, okay. Then you can plan to do a research write-up. Alright, sharing. You can actually prepare macam mana. You can actually do a small classroom research. Alright, pakar cakap action research. Tapi sebab some people are afraid of the word action research. Some people say action research is not really research. Okay, then we'll just say classroom ideas. So think of satu benda yang, satu code yang you pernah ajar, yang you dah beberapa, a few years ajar, you dah ajar, and you know that cara you ajar code ni lain daripada kawan you yang ajar code ni. Cara yang lain tu you kena capture. Alright, you start finding out what is it that makes your teaching different. If you can cari, then if you can read up, you have to read up. And if you can find out what is it that makes your teaching different, therefore you've got one research idea there. Alright, okay. And the content will be, what are the things that make your teaching unique? That will be one research write-up. Alright, okay. And then from there, takkan bila dah tulis satu research write-up, kita dah tanya students, okay, mungkin creativity kita, kita punya pengajaran mungkin authentic. Nombor 2, mungkin pengajaran kita menggunakan group work. Number 2, mungkin pengajaran kita menggunakan real life case studies. Alright, okay, or problem solving. So you go and read up. You're going to read up of the 3 unique things study. The authenticity. You read up the group work. The latest research. You read up about the case study or the problem solving. And then after that, you can do a simple survey. Ask your students to answer the survey. How did they feel about cara unique yang you mengajar? And that itself can be a paper. Alright, so then you publish the paper. That is stage number 3. Right? Bila dah sampai stage number 3, takkan nak stop kat situ je kot. Wah, paper saya dah keluar jurnal dah excited dah, duduk dan diam. Takkan nak duduk dan diam aja dah. Okay? Then, tengok, you look back. Adakah instrumen yang you buat untuk you punya research number 2 tadi, stage number 2, adakah you rasa benda tu baru? Adakah cara yang you mengajar tu memang baru, orang lain tak pernah buat? Then you go and apply for copyright, IP. Alright? Orang yang dah biasa masuk IDEX or any of the innovation competition, you tahu kalau you nak masuk competition, you kena daftar ke IP dulu. IP adalah, IP can be cara pengajaran yang lain, IP can be research instrument yang survey tu, IP can be the theoretical framework pun jadi IP juga, because dia adalah model you. Only you came up with the idea. So cepat-cepat IP kan sebelum orang copy. Alright, then after that masuklah competition. Alright, then once you take part in a competition like what I do for my teaching writing using movies, my fun way of teaching people how to write is I teach thesis statement, topic sentence, controlling idea using movies. I teach literature review using color codes. So I write about it in research. I publish the paper. I publish the paper. Where was I just now? Sorry, got so excited tersalah tekan tadi kan. So number, okay. I publish the paper and I write a book. Alright, it would be very nice if at the end of your lepas participate from innovative competition, mula you tulis about how different your classroom teaching is. Then you publish the paper about that creative way of teaching. Then sebab dia creative, sayang kalau you tak IP kan. Okay, intellectual property, and then you masuk competition. Alright, and bila dah masuk competition, don't just stop there. Maybe you want to share to people macam mana nak ajar, macam mana nak buat apa yang you anggap kreatif tadi. Write a book on it. Alright, write a book on it. And then buku tu nanti itself boleh masuk competition lagi sekali. So as teachers, kita punya research, publication and our innovation is a cycle, it's non-stop. You have something interesting, you write a research about it, you publish the paper, alright? And then you make sure that you send for intellectual property right, and then you participate in innovative competition, all right? And then you write a book about it, all right? Writing a book about it is not the ending, all right? Many of you dah sampai number 5. Saya tahu ramai orang. Hopefully they are also watching me. Ramai yang saya kenali dah sampai number 5 dah. You have reached 5. You have got gold. You have got silver. You've got bronze. I've got bronze. You've got gold. You've got silver for your innovation competition. Alright? Alah, takkanlah nak simpan medal tu kat atas meja je. Cuba tengok medal tu. Takkan nak berhenti kat situ je. Alright? You have not completed one circle yet. Tak sampai lagi. So yang dapat gold ke IDEX, yang dapat silver ke IDEX, don't stop at number 5. Seronok dapat medal, tapi jangan berhenti kat situ. Alright? Quickly get ideas and start writing a book. Buku tu bukan, it's not theory sangat. You want to share with people macam mana nak buat benda yang you anggap innovative. Alright, how can you go about doing this how can you go about doing this innovative teaching ideas? You want to share with people. Alright, in fact, this book should be, kalau I think for UiTM Press, this book should be written very thin book. It should be what, between maybe 15 to 100 pages, less than 100. Orang pegang pun, people will, it's easy to read. So you boleh share dengan orang how to go about using your creative idea, teaching something yang selama ni orang lain buat biasa saja. I think what makes us expert, what makes us special in our teaching is not only because of our teaching style. What makes us expert in our teaching is because we're able to teach something yang biasa-biasa, mediocre, something, a content that is biasa-biasa. Orang lain pun tengok macam biasa. Aku pun boleh ajar. Alah, tajuk tu, I also can do. Alright, but what makes us special is that we can come up with a unique way, a way that is ours. That when you mention that particular unique way, people know that that particular way actually came from you. So write a book about it. You have taken part in a competition. You've got some medals about it. So don't stop there. Go write a book about it and share to the people around you how to go about writing the book. All right, okay. Then from then on, then bila dah tulis buku, of course, the truth is writing a book takes time. All right, maybe dalam team tu you boleh share. All right, if there are five people people in the competition, innovation competition, you bagi. So different people write different chapters, right? When different people write different chapters, mungkin within hopefully dalam 3-4 bulan apa yang you dah menang kat innovation competition tu telah menjadi buku, dibukukan, okay? And buku tu is actually is just a how to. It's just how to do this, how to teach this, how to teach that. Okay, and the next one, we participate in, then buku tu nanti akan menjadi one step ahead. You gunakan buku tu itself boleh di IP kan, because it's unique of you. So IP daripada satu creative teaching tu dapat 2 IP. Satu IP about the paper, about the creative idea, alright, and the other IP is buku tu, alright, how to. That itself become your intellectual property, alright, okay. And with that, you akan masuk another competition, maybe the next year. So masuk another IDEX, another innovative competition, and this time kita as the book that we actually participate, kita bawa buku tu ke competition. Alright, okay, so that will be my research publication cycle. Start off with number 1, research, think of an idea, and then number 2, you write up the research. Alright, bila dah tulis jangan membazir, you publish the paper. Bila dah publish jangan lupa you IP kan method tu, or you IP kan the theoretical framework, or you IP kan the conceptual framework, or you IP kan dia the instrument. Alright, you IP kan half done already. Then after that, ready to take part in competition. Alright, then you take part in innovative competition and you get medals. Alright, okay, then when you take part in the competition number 5, lepas tu don't leave it there, because cuma kawan-kawan you aja tahu pasal benda interesting yang you buat. So why not go ahead and write a book on how to teach this innovative method. All right, so therefore you can take part in innovative competition on this book that you have written. All right, next one. All right, 2021, the year of a big change. All right, I always like to selit-selitkan my talks with quotes. All right, what a teacher is more important than what he teaches. You see, kadang-kadang kita marah orang cakap, alah dia cikgu, masuk kelas ajar je lah. No, it's not ajar je. Because actually when students observe kita, orang tengok kita, when students learn from us, they don't just learn what we teach them. They also learn what we don't teach them. It reminds me of one educational psychology quote, the hidden curriculum. All right, I love to use this word, the hidden curriculum. Curriculum yang tersembunyi. Kita masuk kelas, kita ajar benda yang students nampak. Kita ajar benda yang kita plan untuk ajar. Tapi kadang-kadang kita akan ajar benda yang kita tak plan. And that is the hidden curriculum. Students learn from our attitude towards teaching. Student learns the way, the attitude we deal with them. students learn the way I remember when I was teaching last time, I can't help but remember kalau kelas start pukul 8:10 I will lock the door. All right, okay, that means I'm not teaching the students that I can hold the key to the door. Pengajaran dia bukan sebab saya garang, walaupun saya garang. Alright, pengajaran dia bukan sebab saya garang. The hidden curriculum is punctual. All right, punctuality is very important. So what a teacher is more important than what you teach. So it's your personality that goes into the classroom. Sekarang bukan classroom. That goes into the screen when you teach. All right. Like for example, some of you who knows me very well. I will not teach. Just keeping quiet when I talk, and when I teach, my hands will go all over the place. All right. That's what I am. All right. Okay. Next one. In learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. All right. Many of us feel that kita cuma berani ajar benda yang kita dah biasa ajar. Jadi kita akan jadi expert kepada benda yang kita that we are qualified for. All right, okay. But what we do not realize that many of us become expert sebab when we teach, we learn back. All right, many of you will agree with me. If you have taught for a long time, you know that sebenarnya bila you ajar something, when you teach a particular content, you are also learning more about it. How do you learn when you teach? All right, number one, kita ajar, kita realize that pelajar tak faham. Therefore, kita jadi we become very we impromptu. Alamak, budak tak faham lah, kita kena try lagi sekali. Kita kena ajar in another way. So we become better at it. All right? And then we realize that actually loopholes ni sebenarnya kalau topik ni sebenarnya kalau sampai kat nombor ni lebih susah. So ini kena ubah cara I ajar. So you learn a new thing. All right. And number two, sometimes teaching a particular code, teaching a particular course for many years, you come up with new ways of teaching it because you realize that for that particular topic, mungkin you pun memang you dread reaching that particular topic. So maybe when you reach that topic, kita akan buat something more interesting. So in the end, our teaching becomes better. All right. So when we are learning as we teach. All right. And when we teach other people learn, we also learn. We also learn more about ourselves. All right. And the last quote that I would like to share with people is that go the extra mile. It's never crowded. All right. I wish that I am in that lecture hall ka Pasir Gudang yang lecture room yang besar tu. I can go to each of the aisles and actually question you. What do you mean by extra mile? All right. Extra mile goes a long way. Many of us are very we teach. We become very good at what we teach. We have more materials over the years. PowerPoint slide kita mungkin bertambah, mungkin berkurangan. We become better at what we do. Tetapi cuba, let's try and ask ourselves, going the extra mile. If we are doing the same thing as what many people are still doing, kalau orang lain buat apa yang kita buat, we are not going the extra mile. Kalau orang lain cakap, kita tak ada time nak publish sebab kita sibuk mengajar, therefore we are not going the extra mile. Going the extra mile doesn't mean teaching more hours. Going the extra mile doesn't mean teaching on a weekends. That's not going the extra mile. Going the extra mile is doing more than what other people think that you are doing. So that would be going the extra mile. Going the extra mile in my case, even with the teaching load that I have. I remember when I was teaching 24 jam di UiTM Pasir Gudang in 2014, I think. I've got 24 hours of teaching. Masa tu kita tak cukup pensyarah. I went the extra mile. What was my extra mile? I publish. All right, go the extra mile. All right, and why it's never crowded? Because orang tak perasan apa kita buat in the extra mile. Kita boleh buat mistakes when in the extra mile. When you go ahead, we can, sebelum orang perasan apa yang kita buat extra tu, kita buat seorang-seorang, kita buat extra, kita ada peluang untuk buat mistakes in the extra mile. Jauh ke depan, kita boleh buat mistakes, kita boleh find out, like in my case, apa tu index journal, apa tu non-index journal, apa journal yang senang, apa journal yang difficult to get through, what are the aspects in the journal that is difficult. Go the extra mile. You make all the mistakes and people don't know. Okay, people don't know that your paper got rejected many times. Go the extra mile, and when you are the extra mile, kita belajar to correct our own mistakes, and we become better. We become better at it, and yes, when you go the extra mile, it's not crowded. All right, my time says 3 o'clock now. Let's take a break for five minutes. All right, okay. All right, I'll see you back at 3:05. All right, so let's take a five minutes break, and I'll see you back in 5 minutes time. All right, so let's rest. Right. Shall we start now? Shall we start now?
Yes, we can start now.
Start video. Alright. Hang on. Let me get the slides first. Alright. Thank God. Battery. Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back. Okay, I shall share my screen now. Can you see it, Nazra?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Let's continue. The dreaded, the most hated quadrant. Guess what is the most hated quadrant? All right. Research and publication. Right. So all of us we can rest assured that our teaching is okay. We covered teaching quadrant. All right, many people I know in Pasir Gudang and in Segamat, you also have innovation. Very good. Cuma kena tulis buku je. Right? Now, research and publication, the hated quadrant. All right, let's look at research and publication. 2021. On the 30th of December saja je nak spesifik sekali. Kalau you all check you punya I think everybody got this email. Some of us didn't see it sebab email banyak sangat. Some of us pretended not to see it. Alright, okay. Email 30th December 2020. Alright. So what is it? 2021. No matter how busy you are with teaching, keliling ni, semua orang dapat. Kalau tak dapat, I tunjukkan. Nombor 6, nombor 7, nombor 8. Alright? Saya baca nombor 7 dan 8. Alright? Ini bukan untuk track penyelidikan. Ini untuk semua. Track pengajaran dan pembelajaran yang biasa sama juga. Alright? So, apa dia yang kita tak baca dalam email yang 30 hari bulan Disember semua orang tu? Saya bacakan nombor 7. Setiap staf akademik mestilah mencapai KPI penerbitan tahunan minimum. Dia ada minimum tahu seperti yang ditetapkan. Sebarang pencapaian lebih daripada KPI minimum akan diberi wajaran markah dalam penilaian prestasi tahunan. Pandai dia tulis nombor 7. Kalau lebih, dapat ekstra. But what if tak capai minimum? Baca nombor 8. Staf akademik yang berjaya melaksanakan. This is a very positive sentence. When I first saw it, I actually laughed. Staf akademik yang berjaya melaksanakan semua tugas hakiki yang diamanahkan, termasuk memenuhi KPI minimum penerbitan tahunan. So semua orang kena capai minimum. Alright? Wajar dipertimbangkan untuk memperolehi markah cemerlang iaitu 80% atau lebih. Kalau kita dah biasa, if we have worked for many years at UiTM, we realize that selama ni nak dapat more than 85 is not very difficult. Alright, but now selagi KPI penerbitan minimum tak sampai, tak tercapai, tak boleh dapat 85%. No matter how huha you were for the whole year. Alright, penerbitan tak capai, tak boleh 85. Tak boleh 85. Sebaliknya, sekiranya KPI penerbitan tahunan minimum yang digariskan tidak dicapai, maka markah penilaian prestasi tak akan capai 85%. Ini bukan saya yang cakap. Ini bukan Ahmad Ahbab yang punya. This is from top management, alright? Okay, this is from TNC penyelidikan. Alright, okay. Next one. Apakah yang dimaksudkan dengan KPI individual? Many of you have seen this table before. Alright, people at my faculty have seen this before. Some of you have seen it. Some of you nampak tapi tak nak ingat sebab mengerikan sangat. Some of you see it but you remember it because it scares you, because you want to get 85%. Alright, okay. Kalau if you are a VK7, you must publish minimum at least 4 index journal. This is journal. We are not talking about proceeding. We're talking about index journal. 4 index dan 1 other publication. This other publication boleh jadi non-index journal. Boleh jadi my side index. Boleh jadi proceeding yang biasa-biasa. Boleh jadi newspaper artikel yang kreatif tu. Boleh jadi chapter in a book. Buku takes a long time lah. You need it. Secara the truth, you must achieve this by November to be safe. Kalau tidak, dia tak sempat masuk dalam my ATP. DM 53, 54, saya kena achieve at least 3 index journal. Alright, and 1 other publication. DM 51, the senior lecturers, nasib you baik dengan 45, pensyarah baru, yang tak baru sangat, yang 45, dengan 52 sama, it's 1 plus 2. Right, okay? 1 index and 2 other publication. 2 tu boleh jadi conference mana-mana lah, boleh jadi newspaper artikel lah, boleh jadi anything. But the 1 tu kena kejar dulu. The 1 first. So, tak boleh lari, minimum 1. Right? Unless you are DM51, then you only have 1 other publication. But I think many of us are minimum 45, right? Okay, next one. Okay, what does it mean by other? Alright, okay, jenis-jenis penerbitan. Journal, alright, okay. I always get this kind of question people for publication. How about proceeding? Proceeding untuk conferences, itu adalah other publication. Alright, okay. So lain-lain penerbitan here. Alright, lain-lain will be journal my side, journal tidak berindeks, surat khabar, karya asli, okay, artikel dalam majalah. So this one can all be other. So I think many of you are the M50, 45 and 52, 1 plus 2. Right? Kalau tidak, tak dapat 85%. Alright, yes, this one is very important. Maybe the good thing that, you know, the good thing about this is that many of you on your computer, cuba Google Scholar. Kalau you ada Gmail, you ada Google Scholar. You dapat apa-apa kat Google Scholar tak? Alright, you should get a number there, alright? Okay, as basic, okay, basic. Kita semua kena ada Google digital footprint. Alright, we need to park our work. Zaman sekarang kita tak perlu bawa CV kita tunjuk orang. Alright, CV kita adalah our digital footprint. Alright, I'm sure many of my friends know what is my latest publication. Sebab saya selalu park kat Google Scholar. Saya selalu park kat Academia, salah sekali. Saya selalu park kat ResearchGate. Alright, park all your work there. Setiap kali you publish an article, quickly buka account you kat Google Scholar, quickly buka account kat ORCID, quickly buka account kat ResearchGate, quickly buka account kat Academia, quickly buka account kat LinkedIn, and your work there. Alright, hello, saya baru publish lagi satu. Alright, okay. And of course, basically is Prisma. Alright, you should first park your work at Prisma dulu, because Prisma membantu your faculty, your branch campus. Alright, lepas Prisma, don't stop there, go park everywhere. So lepas ni, after my talk, when I finish my talk at 4 o'clock, so pergi Google Scholar, pergi Google ORCID, pergi Google ResearchGate, pergi Google Academia, pergi Google LinkedIn, buka account and mungkin by November, start parking your work there. Alright? So sekarang, do you know that sekarang kita as academician, whenever I meet a new person at work, you know, when they introduce themselves, I'll be very naughty. I akan Google nama dia kat Google Scholar. Saya tengok dia punya citation berapa. Saya tengok nama dia, saya letak copy and paste nama dia kat ResearchGate. Saya tengok dia punya point berapa. So I do that. I stalk him. Alright. So go start parking your work. Go start bertapak di digital footprint. Alright, and update your CV regularly. If you've just started for the next 5 years, start your CV now. And CV tu kena ada, kita sebagai pensyarah, CV kita kena ada minimum lah. Of course lah, qualification kita kan. CV kita kena ada articles published. Mungkin you boleh bahagikan kotak dalam CV you, artikel mungkin kalau baru-baru tu artikel campur lah proceeding dengan journal dalam kotak yang sama. Then you have subject stored, maybe dalam CV tu you ada research grant or published research, because some of my research done are without grant. So you can have a table that says research with and without grant. So you have the article, you have the subject stored, you have the research grants and without grant, you are the talks given, all right? And you can have one column that says industry stroke community engagement. So start off that CV now and you add on as the years go by. All right. You can have in your digital footprint. Sekarang zaman internet kan, kita ada banyak haters kan. Nanti haters akan cakap, publish journal index ke? Tak index pun. But it's better to have non-index than not have any journals at all. All right. Okay. How many non-index journal? Better than none at all. All right. Start off with non-index. Kalau tak berani, buat non-index dulu. Okay. Hantar to the non-index journal first. All right. Then after that, maybe dalam 3-4 dah hantar kat non-index, dah ada confidence sikit kan? That you've been accepted by a few, then cuba hantar satu index, alright? But it takes time. Normally, index journal take a few months or even one year to get published, which is fine. Alright, okay? Next one. Okay, so we finish on research and publication. Alright? Let's look at the last quadrant. I'm not finished yet, alright? Oh no, I got to finish at 2. Okay, last quadrant. I put it at the last quadrant sebab sebenarnya dia related. Dia last quadrant sebab is related. Alright, why is it related? Alright, jom kita rewind balik quadrant ini. Alright, kita ada teaching and learning, many of us are good at it. Innovation, kita masuk competition. Research and publication, kita akan buat sebab kita nak dapat 85% markah tahun ni LMPT. Alright, last one, industry and community engagement. Alright, kalau belum mulalah sekarang. Kalau dah mula, good, continue. And please know that industry and community engagement, dia ada beberapa bentuk. Okay, you don't have one way of doing industry and community engagement is that, you know, you share your knowledge dengan orang di luar sana. Zaman COVID-19 ni senang, buat webinar je. Buat webinar, share the knowledge dengan orang kat sekolah. Buat webinar, share the knowledge dengan industri. Share the knowledge that you have, alright? Make sure that somebody dengar orang daripada industri bercakap. Somebody dengar daripada industri dengar kita bercakap. They're just sharing knowledge. So it can't just be organizing a webinar so that industri tahu kita wujud. Alright, community tahu kita boleh tolong dia, tapi through online. one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is also, you can also collaborate for index journals. All right. Remember, tadi kita nak index journal. How do we collaborate? So you can have one author. You are the main author. You are the main author from your branch campus. You are the main author from your faculty. So you boleh ajar in 4 cara yang berbeza. All right. You, by doing these 4 ways, if you can do all 4 ways, wonderful. If not, 1 or 2 ways is fine. You are helping your branch campus. You are helping your faculty if you do this. All right. You are the main author. You are the co-author daripada UiTM lecturer juga. So cuba dapat satu co-author daripada university in Malaysia, private or public, satu paper. All right. Or kalau boleh, go again, you go and write another paper. You're the main author, or your other friends will be your main author. But if you want to get the KPI points for your branch campus, you should be the main or the corresponding author. All right, okay. Not all corresponding are main. All right, not all main need to be corresponding. That one you have to read up. All right. Okay, so first one, you ajak at least orang daripada public or private university, and the other paper you boleh ajak at least one person from overseas university. The third paper you boleh ajak somebody from industry. Alright, kalau daripada industry, maybe you tak payahlah suruh dia tulis. Alright, maybe you nak input daripada dia, maybe you nak respondents daripada dia, tapi you kena minta izin dia. Alright, so you could be writing with somebody from the industry. Alright, they may not be one of the writer as in the real sense, tapi dia boleh bantu dari segi input. Alright, but you still need to write the name there because dia ada beri dia punya input. Then you need their name and their credentials, the information on the cover page of the journal. Alright, the fourth one, you boleh tulis a paper, then you ajak lah, write a paper about community. Alright, something to do yang boleh benefit community. Write a paper about it. And ajak somebody from the community, maybe to be, they need not be one of the co-authors, tetapi dia mungkin beri you input. Dia mungkin menjadi part of the people that you share the knowledge with. So they might be happy to be part of the co-author in the paper because they were a part of the paper actually. All right, so that's one way of doing it. So that's how we engage with the community. We can engage by doing webinar with them. We can engage with sharing knowledge with them. If I may encourage you, masa sekarang ni lah, online lah, kita should go a lot of engagement with industry and community sebab masa ni sekarang webinar. We don't have to go out, all right? Okay, next one. All right, for those of you who are bercita-cita tinggi untuk mendapat 85% for NNPT, I will share with you what you can do. Kita boleh tulis, tak payah nak tulis seorang-seorang. Okay, it's going to be very tiring. It's going to be a long and painful journey to write a journal on your own. So I share with you this template if you're interested. Kalau dalam satu paper tu kononnya ada 4 orang lah. Okay? Okay, kononnya ada 4 orang lah. Ataupun 3 orang ke 4 orang. The 5th person can be the industry. The 5th person can be the community. So 4 orang ni akan betul-betul share untuk menulis. Alright, so orang yang author number 1 tu dia boleh tulis intro. Author number 2 tu dia boleh tulis literature review sebab dia tulis sikit. Author number 2 tu dia kena tulis dia punya summary of findings. So author number 3 nanti dia boleh share, dia boleh tulis dia punya bahagian dalam methodology. Dan author number 4 bahagian dia adalah findings. Alright, and when you do group writing, I do group writing all the time with my friends here. I will divide like this. Yes, okay, this is how it looks like when I do group writing. Ini cover page journal actually, title kat atas kan, then the author there, and then industry there. Alright, bila kita share kerja dengan kawan, jangan lupa, bila kawan dah buat dia punya bahagian, jangan lupa cakap dengan kawan, tulis references as they go along. Kalau tidak nanti letih you nak pergi cari reference. Siapa dah tulis bahagian dia, terus masukkan reference dia. Ikut color dia. Kalau you belong, if you are the blue author, go write your reference in blue. Kenapa? Jadi the group leader akan cari you kalau you rasa references tu tak lengkap. So please be very cooperative with your team members. So this is one way of doing it. All right, okay? So that is how you can collaborate with the industry and community. Alright, this is how you can help your branch campus. This is how you can help your faculty. Alright, publication kita kalau boleh kita pelbagaikan. Kita ada publication yang ada tulis dengan national collaborators university dalam negara, private or public. Dan kita ada journal yang kita co-write dengan industri. They don't necessarily have to write, but they give us the input. We have a journal that we write with international university. Alright, so you should have kita pelbagaikan nama-nama author dan where they come from on the first page. Then you help your branch campuses in these ways. Alright. Okay, and you can also help your branch campuses in other ways as well. Kita akan organize webinar, social responsibility programs, give free lessons on the webinar. It's a social responsibility program that take the attendance, don't forget. All right, write a report about it. All right, you can arrange talks. This will be knowledge transfer program. In fact, saya punya talk ni sekarang, UiTM Pasir Gudang boleh daftar this as a knowledge transfer program. This is one example of a knowledge transfer program. All right, and maybe some of you you are members of a professional association and professional bodies, and number of staff as in association of ministries, and also community. Apa dia? Number of communities receiving benefit. Kita beri talk kepada a community through webinar. Make sure you will get the attendance of the people who attended from the community. So we are already engaging with the community outside there. Your evidence will be enough, all right? And number of staff registered as voluntary organization. Volunteer for an organization, give your name to the office, and they will be happy to help with the KPI that you are a registered volunteer. Okay, untuk orang yang bercita-cita tinggi. Kita dah nak habis dah. Untuk orang yang bercita-cita tinggi, the next few slides mungkin menakutkan. The images might be scary to watch, but not in the way that you think. Alright. The next few images might be scary to watch for some of you, but I'm going to give you some suggestions. Jangan terperanjat. Kalau yang ada heart attack tu jangan tengok, nanti terperanjat. Okay, but I'm following the Gantt chart. Suggestion je tak payah ikut kalau tak larat. First one. Untuk orang yang plan to write more than one publication one year, you should start by now. Alamak, January dah lepas. Okay, February, you should start now. Think of a publication. Alright, if you are the leader, fikirkan tajuk dulu. Bila kita dah dapat tajuk, baru ajak team members masuk. Jangan tak fikir tajuk, baru ajak team member. Lepas tu, buang masa online meeting semua, tengok muka dia, kita nak cakap pasal apa, kita nak tulis pasal apa. You as a leader come up with tajuk dulu. Jadi people can brainstorm the tajuk. Then you ajak your team members and your co-writers. Okay, what's the next stage? Then you prepare the instrument. You boleh ambil kalau nak simple, ambil past studies punya instrument. You can use it. Alright? It can be either qualitative or quantitative. Apa yang penting adalah kalau kita bercita-cita tinggi untuk tengok slide yang selepas ni ada dua lagi, pastikan that your instrument dia ada multiple variables. Kita boleh main-main dengan variables nanti. Dia ada multiple variables, alright? Alright? Okay. Now number 4, application to ethics committee. Kalau dapat grant, kena apply ethics committee. Or else it's optional. Alright, now you dah ada instrumen dah tadi, tapi pastikan instrumen tu kalau nak fikir panjang sampai ujung tahun, pastikan your instrumen ada banyak variables. Alright. Right. Then after that, bagi-bagi by February. So you bagi the color code tadi kan, author number 1 warna biru, author number 2 warna merah. Okay, different people will be left for a month or 2 months to write bahagian you. Seorang tulis intro, senyap-senyap. Seorang senyap-senyap sebulan tulislah literature review. Seorang tulis senyap-senyap your methodology. Dan semua dah tulis bahagian tu. And then after that, by March mungkin, you can analyze the data. Analyze one section dulu. Alright. then you write the conclusion, analyze one aspect of the variable dulu. Satu aspek dulu. Alright, kita nak beranakkan your instrument. Analyze one aspect dulu, then lepas tu copy and paste. Carilah template, carilah journal index, alright. You must awal tahun kena hantar index dulu sebab index takes a longer time. So hantar kat index and then you by April duduk dan diam tunggulah redaction or acceptance by the journal. Okay, lepas tu April kita dah lega sikit. Tapi tadi kita analyze satu variable saja. Get ready for the next Gantt chart. Kita baru ambil April tadi. Kita jangan rehat April. Okay? Gunakan instrumen yang sama. Ambil variable yang lagi satu. Think of a title yang berkaitan tapi tidak sama. Analyze the data for the publication 2. Ubah. Kalau boleh, kalau orang yang sama, ubah. Kalau first paper tadi buat intro, kali ni jangan tulis intro sebab nanti kita tertulis benda yang sama. So ubah position of the authors. Alright? Ubah and then give a month, semua duduk dan diam sebulan, dalam bulan Mei tulis bahagian dia. Lepas tu dah siap, group leader will compile everything. Kalau ada duit, hantar untuk editing ke apa. Dan lepas tu by June, you can send to a publisher. You can kalau tengah tahun masih boleh hantar index, tapi kalau dah by June mungkin kalau dah dapat news that the first article is accepted, so orang yang DM 45 dengan 52 boleh relax, so you can have 1+2. So you can choose not to send to an index journal. Journal biasa pun boleh. So June kita rehat sekejap, kita tunggu rejection or acceptance. Kita tarik nafas panjang bulan Jun. Next one. Last. Okay. Last one. Tengok kalau ada tak variable yang you tak analyze lagi. You pusingkan and you play around with the variables. You think of a title and you divide the work and different people write different parts all over again. And then after that, August, you bagi-bagi and then maybe by August or September, you send one more article. Kalau ikut 3 tu kalau you betul-betul, mungkin yang tu February dah tak terkejar. Mungkin you akan dapat 2. You lepas, mungkin if you follow, you start malam ni, you akan dapat 2 article by September. Alright? Even as I'm explaining, I'm taking a deep breath. Alright? Boleh kan? Boleh. Doable. We can do it. Okay, dah nak beda. Extra tips. Maybe not. Maybe you like tip, maybe you don't like the tip. Silence is full of answers. Often when I give talks, I hear some people asking questions, giving comments, and I say in my mind, wow, this person is unfortunate because he has not found a mental gift of silence. Sometimes the things that we want to know, we are very quick to ask something. We don't know something, kita cepat-cepat kita nak tanya, tapi kita tak absorb the things that we don't know, because probably there are other ways of answering the question. Maybe even as setengah orang, even as they ask the question, they already know the answer. Tapi sebab dah tercakap kan, kena tanya. So silence is better. Silence is the way to go many times. All right, okay. It's so nice talking about happenings around you, but what good does it do to you? These are some of my tips. It takes it takes the same amount of time to tell people kenapa kita tak publish. It takes the same amount of energy to give excuses as to why we don't have enough time. All right, but that same amount of energy we can use to think of a title. Tapi jangan think of title aja, you got to go ahead and write. Jangan fikir title sampai 2 bulan title tu tak bergerak. Alright. Okay. When in doubt, read. Alright, I tell my PhD students, if you don't understand, don't quickly ask. Read. If you don't understand what you read, ask no. If you don't understand what you read some more. Because many times apa yang kita tak tahu tu sebenarnya we'll find it if we read further. Little knowledge is more dangerous than little knowledge is very dangerous. Kadang-kadang kita ingat kita tahu, tapi apa yang kita tahu tu memang tak betul sangat. So you got to read on. Alright? Sebenarnya, if you want to be a scholar, the moment where you think you know enough, that's when you need to read some more, because that's going to be dangerous. Because you're going to be proud that you know. Sebenarnya, you're going to be on further. Alright, okay, when in doubt, read. Alright, reading serves 3 ways. Number 1, you get answers to the questions from your reading. You read something, you get the answer. Alright, and number 2, when you will find answers to questions, when you read sebenarnya, kadang-kadang kita dapat jawapan kepada soalan yang kita tak begin to ask, but you reflect after the reading and realize that lah, macam ni pun boleh lah. Okay, yeah, you get other answers. And number 3, this is what happens to me. When you read, when you will find more things to read on after this. My favorite part of doing research, my favorite part of doing a publication and past study is when I'm looking at past study and I read one research and I realize that this particular person, saya tak jumpa apa yang saya nak cari, tapi saya jumpa benda yang lebih baik daripada apa yang saya nak, and I go on reading further and further and further and further. That's when reading does to you. Alright, okay. Although as a joke, I hope by now you would already get past the stage where reading journal is your big time story. Jangan don't make journal your big time story. Alright, read it because read journal, nak kata tepi laut, tak ada laut sebab PKP. Read journal by TV. Read journal when you're relaxed. Alright, okay. Number 4, always plan what you want to leave behind before you die. Alright. I have a number that I'm working towards before I retire. But 3 more years before I retire. I have a number that I'm working towards my publication, and I'm working towards that. All right. I'll always plan to leave behind knowledge. All right. I'll always plan to leave behind knowledge and good impression, because that's very important. Good impression is even when your haters say bad things about you, they know you did good, right? And lastly, for the people who have time to publish a lot, they're not lucky. Mungkin rezeki dia, because I think the ability to do more than others is a rezeki. Alright, okay. For some of you susah sangat start tulis. Bila nak start tulis saja ada masalah. Start tulis saja ada masalah lain. Ya, ujian mungkin Allah beri kita dengan cara yang lain. Tapi just try once and you'll really love publication. Right? Lastly, before I end this page, satu kepala terbalik, satu kepala betul. Alright, which one are you? Are you a negative thinker? Orang yang negative thinker ni, if you're gonna do it, setengah orang yang negatif ni dia punya alasan, tak perfect, saya tak nak buat. So dia tak start lah. They constantly give real, and dia punya reason memang betul. Memang real reason why something cannot be done. Memang betul. The reasons are usually valid. And another favorite line for a negative thinker, kau boleh lah sebab kau macam ni. That's a negative thinker. Okay, and at the time is spent convincing others why you cannot do. And yeah, the listener will believe that you cannot do it because you have convinced them the reason why you cannot do, and it's true. But a positive thinker will usually find a way to do it, even the impossible. All right. I published 27 articles, journal articles last year. I planned to achieve 24 and I got 27. It was impossible. It was crazy, but I did it. All right. We'll find a way to succeed in something that when others say they cannot. Work in silence. Silence is seen in the product. In the product. Not the planning. Don't plan too much. Just start. Jangan plan. Lepas tu buatnya tak juga. Asyik plan aja. Your life is your message to the whole world around you. Please make it inspiring. What you do, sometimes you don't have to tell people what to do. People watch you. People see your digital footprint. That's your message to the people around you. Make it inspiring. Make it inspiring. Our greatest glory is never falling. I get rejected by journal publisher over and over again. Reject lagi, reject lagi. But trying again is getting up each and every time we fall. Rejection is law of attraction. Stop feeding your mind with negative thoughts. Right? Feed only with positive ones. You are what you set your mind to be. If you say you can't, memang you can never. But when the task is impossible, but your mind say I can, you can. If you say you can and you will, you are already happy. One announcement. All right. I will be inviting everybody from who attended my course to my webinar. I will be giving the penganjur kejap lagi the link to my webinar. I will be giving a talk on my symposium. I'm organizing a symposium. The symposium is called Rice, Nasi, tapi bukan makan nasi. Rice means, all right, I cook up this name, cute kan, Rice? Research, I is industry, C is community, E is engagement. If you participate in this virtual symposium, you can actually help to bring up your campus KPI by having published publication that involves industry and or community. All right, I'll talk about it later. I'll give you the date. There will be a webinar by me on the 19th of February, all right, on RISE. I will share with you how to go about participating in my RISE. Thank you very much for listening. All right, that's my digital footprint. Some of you, I know I got a lot of messages. I'll be giving the latest PowerPoint slide to the organizer. Some people I know are messaging me also asking for the slide. I'll be giving you my slide and you can get me. You can actually stalk me on my Google, on my digital footprint there. All right, okay. So I shall now open the floor for any questions. If you have any questions that you want to ask, I can answer them.
Untuk peserta boleh tuliskan soalan anda di dalam live chat YouTube dan nanti saya akan bacakan. Okay, ada soalan yang saya dapat daripada Dr. Mahfuzah dan Kak Baiti. Okay. Soalan dia adalah, bagaimana dengan pembahagian waktu? Okay, untuk pastikan kita capai dapat achieve semua 4 quadrants ni, dan bagaimana pula untuk kita fokus? Okay, dan bagaimana untuk kita menulis dengan cepat, dan cara terbaik kita approach team. Ni kita nak cari team members macam kita nak pilih. So ada 4 soalan. Pertama,
nombor 1,
pembahagian waktu.
Time, okay.
Kedua, cara untuk fokus dalam keadaan kita sekarang work from home ni.
Okay.
Okay. Ketiga, cara menulis dengan cepat.
Okay.
Dan keempat, cara kita nak approach team members.
I like the question. Okay, number 1. Time management, all right. Thank you for the question, all right. Okay, time management. Kita kena, I know it's not a nice word. Kita kena compartmentalize your activities in your brain, all right. Kita kena tahu when to stop, all right. Contohnya kalau kita kena tahu macam for example alright, I think I answer question 1 and 2 together. Alright, time management and cara untuk focus. Alright, in my case, working on online works very well for me, and I was able to publish so much more than I ever could before COVID-19. Sebab once I clock out with the handphone, clock out aja. Let's say 5:30 I clock out. I will switch my mind off teaching. I tak nak pandang teaching. Alright, okay. I will clock out and I not watch on teaching and I start to write. That means you kena compartmentalize your mind, your brain there. Alright, psychologically you kena buat that. Let's say you clock out. The good thing about working from home is that kita tak ada traffic jam yang penat kepala. Right? Kita kat rumah, kita clock out. So once you clock out, you tell yourself, okay, after 5:30, after 6 o'clock, alright, lepas solat asar, okay, I'm gonna start. Okay, I'm gonna start. And sebenarnya, come on man, kita if you are woman, you know we can multitask. Okay, masa masak, masa potong bawang, dapat idea. Okay, masa nak goreng ikan, terbalikkan ikan, dapat idea lain. Okay, yang penting your pen and your paper is always with you. Alright, I go around the house. My children are very aware of it. I go around the house or I drive around and I say, I like to speak to myself alone sebab dapat idea. Yang penting your thinking doesn't stop. After 5:30, you compartmentalize, you manage your time. Okay, after this I'm going to start writing. Alright, okay? So I think that is the answer for number 1 and number 2. You focus but you manage your time well. Dah tak fikir pasal mengajar, lepas clock out. Alright, cara menulis dengan cepat. Saya ada template. Saya suka pakai template. I am a teacher of template. Alright, saya ada template basic for journal. If you contact me personally through my email, I will give you the template basic for journal. Dalam template tu ada color code untuk author tu, lepas tu ada all the different section. Macam mana tulis cepat? Okay, mula-mula, what I normally do is that the moment I think of a title, tajuk tu dia berlega-lega dalam kepala, terus baca past tadi. Dia jangan banyak cakap dulu. Terus baca past tadi. Alright? Jangan ajak team member dulu. Think of a title, read the past tadi. Okay, bila kita baca past tadi, kita dapat 2 benda. Kita nak tahu whether ada latest research in what we're doing. And number 2, kita boleh replicate instrumen dia. Kerja kita dah senang dah. Orang panggil instrumen kita boleh gunakan, kita replicate. So the moment kita dapat idea, baca. Once you get the idea, don't talk. Don't talk to your friend when you get the idea. When you get the idea, you read past studies first. You got to fall in love with reading journals. So read past idea. Bila you read past study, you dapat 2 benda. One is you dapat instrumen. Orang punya instrumen boleh guna dah. Tak payah nak fikir-fikir. Dan bila tajuk dah mantap, instrumen agak-agak dah ada bayang-bayang, barulah cari team member. Ini you ajak team member, lepas tu jumpa team member. Korang nak buat apa I pun tak tahu. Aku pun tak tahu. So you jangan ajak team member kalau you datang kosong. You datang as a group leader. Janganlah ajak team member tapi cakap aku ajak kau dalam group aku, engkau jadi leader. You nak ajak team member, you jadi leader. Tapi untuk jadi leader, responsibility dia, you kena dapat instrumen baru ajak team. Therefore orang nak join kita pun orang seronok sebab orang tahu dia budak ni, this person knows her stuff. Alright, I hope that answers your question. Next question.
Okay, soalan seterusnya daripada Encik Haikal. Dia tanya, since most of us will continue working with UiTM till we retire, should we be diplomatic or be headstrong in the office politics based on your own experience?
Okay. I'm diplomatic. You have to get by being diplomatic. No matter how tough office politics are, you have to be diplomatic because I'm going to retire. I'm already 57 years old. At the end of the road, we want good memories of people. So we have to be diplomatic. I'm going to just stop at that. Be diplomatic. Cukup jawab macam tu je. Kita tak cakap lagi lah. Yeah. Next one. Nampak hilang. Is it my...
Okay, ada soalan lagi tak?
Okay. Ada tak? Tak ada dah?
Sekejap, bagi saya semak sekejap. Okay, soalan daripada saya sendiri, Dr. Hanim. In the future, adakah Dr. Hanim macam mana kira ODL ni in the future, adakah Dr. Hanim kita rasa benda ni akan diteruskan sampai bila-bila ataupun kita akan collaborate between traditional learning ke dengan ODL, macam mana? Dan which one do you prefer?
First of all, I have come to love ODL. Alright. And I think that in the future, ODL is the way to go sebenarnya. Online learning is the way to go. Kita kena belajar. You see, COVID-19 has taught us many things, and one of the things that it has taught us is that the concept of, remember, the generation yang terbaru ni, dia suka everywhere and anywhere. So I think in the future, ODL is the way to go. And rasanya, I may be wrong, I'm not sure, rasanya nanti kita akan berdepan dengan situasi where bila pelajar daftar kat universiti kita, dia boleh membuat pilihan sama ada dia nak face to face ataupun dia nak ODL. Because I think it's already the way to go. That's the way we are going to do our work now. That's the way I see.
Macam mana pula dengan integriti pelajar, Dr. Hanim? Memandangkan kita menggunakan online, macam mana Dr. Hanim percayakan put 100% trust on your students?
Okay, in the very first place, soalan yang kita set untuk assessment, untuk online assessment memang totally lain daripada face to face. It's no longer going to be the lowest end of the Bloom taxonomy. Dah tak ada bawah sekali yang knowledge dah tak boleh dah. You see, what is interesting is that this ODL teaching and learning, ODL assessment, selama ni kita claim kita ikut Bloom. Amboi, no, mine's not knowledge lah, mine is this. Tapi sebenarnya bila tanya soalan memang hafal. Alright, but with online assessment, kita terpaksa become progressive and kita terpaksa untuk come up with the questions yang ada kat atas kan itu. We have to change the way we ask questions, and when we change the way we ask questions, we get a different answer, and we'll find that students will not be able, even if they want to cheat, what can they cheat? We no longer test on their knowledge. We now will be testing them on their ability to apply their knowledge. And in the end, it's way beyond just proving that they know something. It's being able to use what they know. So I think kita mula-mula sekali kita kena ubah our assessment method.
Okay, last question from Encik Aikal. Since Dr. Hanim has been a lecturer for so long, which is the best method to build up the student with whether it's through by being a loving one ke ataupun jadi tegas? Which one?
Okay. Dia tengah fikir Alright, I started off during my younger days being a very garang teacher. Alright. I am sure some of the lecturers were my ex-student and they remember me as a very garang person. Masa saya jadi kat Pasir Gudang pun sebab suara saya, orang ingat saya garang. Alright. Tetapi dia sebenarnya dia bukan baik hati, friendly or garang. It's actually a continuum. One is garang gila, budak-budak garang gila, and the other one is baik gila. Kalau baik gila, student asyik sakit aja assignment tak pasap. Marks nak key in, tak ada marks kita nak key in. Baik gila. Kalau garang gila, student tak attend kita punya kelas. Kita kena tengah-tengah. Alright, we must be, we don't have to be their friends. With our students tak payah jadi kawan. Tetapi kita jadi approachable, that people can ask us questions anytime. And if you don't know what the answers are, be very frank in saying that, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to that question. Tak payah nak tipu-tipu macam zaman dulu. Siapa tahu jawapan kepada soalan ni, sebenarnya tak tahu pun jawapan tu. Tak payah, be very frank. But at the same time, tegas. Kita kena tegas in such a way that at the end of the road, tell our student, I selalu cakap macam ni, with postgraduate students memang susah kita nak garang all the way, memang kena baik. Tapi dalam baik tu kena tegas. You always remind them deadlines every now and then. Because at the end of it, kita nak dia punya assignment, kita nak dia punya marks, kita nak key in marks. So kalau kita dapat that continuum, kita friendly, kita baik, kita approachable, alright, but at the same time, kita bukan garang lah, kita firm dengan what we want, because at the end of it, we want to assess them and we want them to submit the assessment on time. That's about it. So it's not really garang, but I think it's firm and being fixed exactly on what you want.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Hanim di atas perkongsian ilmu yang saya kira cukup mantap bagi saya. Rasa macam kena ada satu lagi sesi untuk cerita macam mana kita nak tulis dengan lebih cepat. Okay. Okay. InsyaAllah one day. Okay, so kesimpulan yang saya boleh buat di sini adalah sebagai pensyarah kita pada sekarang lah, zaman sekarang ni kita kena cuba untuk mencapai education 5. Objective education 5.0 di mana kita perlu berusaha untuk melahirkan pelajar yang mampu mencapai kriteria agentik, continuous learning, mindful and responsive, dan juga mampu berfikir secara kreatif dan analytical balance. Okay, ini yang berdasarkan education 5.0. Dan Dr. Hanim juga ada kongsikan kepada kita 4 quadrants yang mesti kita penuhi sebagai seorang pensyarah. Dari segi teaching, kita kena go beyond our capabilities. And then dari segi innovation, kita boleh follow RPI cycle tu. And then in terms of research and publication, kita boleh start park our work. Okay, we must have our digital footprint. And then in terms of industry and community engagement, kita kena berusaha untuk share our knowledge yang kita ada dengan community dan industri. Okay, dan saya suka juga the techniques yang Dr. Hanim share, bagaimana kita mahu buat joint collaboration dengan kawan-kawan kita yang lain. Okay, di mana kita ada Gantt chart, kita ada color coded techniques and so on. Okay, very good. Okay, sebelum saya akhiri webinar kita pada hari ini, izinkan kami berkongsi video berkenaan mitasa. Okay, silakan Kak Baiti. Okay, itu adalah video. Terima kasih Puan Baiti. So itu adalah video berkenaan mitasa. Sekiranya anda berminat untuk menyertai dan menjadi ahli mitasa, anda boleh semak link borang pendaftaran di YouTube chat di chat live chat yang telah di dalam YouTube, sorry. Okey, ini saya ingatkan para peserta agar mengisi borang kehadiran bagi mendapatkan jam latihan dan CJ penyertaan. Link kehadiran telah pun disertakan di dalam live chat YouTube. Okey. Baiklah tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Nampaknya masa amat mencemburui kita. Kita telah pun tiba di penghujung program kita. Sebelum saya tamatkan webinar kita, saya minta kerjasama para peserta untuk on camera seketika bagi sesi fotografi secara virtual. AJK. Okay. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Alright, terima kasih. Terima kasih di atas kerjasama yang diberikan. Alhamdulillah dengan ini kita tutup program kita pada hari ini dengan tasbih kifarah dan surah wal-as. Terima kasih Dr. Hanim.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Dadah.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Hanim. Terima kasih. Macam mana ni? Okay, kita
Ingat. Good job. Good job, Naib.
Alright, terima kasih semua. Boleh sambung tanda paper.
Terima kasih semua.
Terima kasih.
Alhamdulillah.